looking at the Mossberg 500, unrecognizable at this point, but it's the Mossberg 500 with a WARHAMMER rail on top, and in the back we've got a Blackhawk SPECOPS Gen 2 recoil reducing stock. I've had to do some adjustments to this, mainly lubrication inside, and keep this bolt here loose so it actually does the recoiling, the reduction. First time I took it out, it didn't seem to reduce recoil at all. I think it was stuck in place. It's supposed to pivot and move on springs, but for some reason it's not doing that. That looks really cool. So this is the modification. It's a Mossberg 500. We've got the rail on there. And I already safety checked this ready. We're clear. Clear down below. Tube is clear. We're good to go. It's got a full rail on the top. It's pretty awesome looking.
Okay, so let me tell you about a little bit about the Mossberg. It was a company started by a guy named O.F. Mossberg. First name was Oscar. Oscar Frederick Mossberg. He's a guy from Sweden. From way back, he was born back in the late or mid 1800s, I believe, and he came to the U.S. to work in a bicycle company first, and then he, around the time of World War I, he joined a company that made machine guns. So I think this is where he got his expertise in firearm manufacturing. So at the end of World War I, this early 1900s, around probably 1920 or so, this company that made machine guns went out of business. So he and his boys got together and decided to start their own firearms manufacturing company. They didn't have a job. So they started with smallest caliber, one of the smallest calibers, a .22, and they just made a small handgun that was a 4-shot handgun, and that did pretty well. So they expanded and diversified. They started making sporting rifles, and they even made, I think they even made boats at one time. They were just trying to go into all the different sporting type equipment. Even made a boat. They had scopes and other parts for firearms, and then they made shotguns. Oh yeah, and they even went into golf clubs at one point. They made golf clubs. Would love to get my hands on one of those. I wonder what that set looks like. So then they continue with the shotgun line, which was very successful and different from many large companies. This one stayed private, and even up to today, it's family owned, which is amazing. It's great to see that in American companies, and they've preserved and managed it all this time as a family business. So that's terrific. Hats off to them. And they're based up in Connecticut, in New Haven. So it's a great location. It's great to see manufacturing there. I think in a lot of parts of the country we don't have as many manufacturing facilities as we used to have. And a lot of that talent tends to atrophy, and we lose it over time. But that's another topic. So the Mossberg shotgun did very well. It was designed with a double extraction piece. Eventually, I think it started as a single, and once in Remington at the time they had a patent on a double, so Mossberg couldn't use it. But sometime later, when it ran out, they moved into the double extractor, which increased the reliability dramatically. And the thing about the 500, it's been in production since around the 60s to now, and it's essentially stayed more or less the same, which is great. It's a test over time. The receiver itself on the 500, there's a bunch of 500 models, 500 all the way up to 590 and everything in between. Basically, it's the exact same receiver, which is, it's high quality, it's reliable. What I really like about it is that when you go to load the tube, that door at the bottom, it stays up. There's so many other brands where it stays down, and my thumb gets caught in there. I mean, it happens. You try it you go to a sporting goods store and try one with a dummy load, and guarantee your thumb will get caught up or brush. It might not get stuck, but it's kind of tricky. The door will come down and hit on the top of your thumb, and in a pressure situation, that's probably something you don't need. So I like the open door at the bottom, and it's just very easy. Just push and load, push and load, push and load. This particular line, the 500, is very reliable, and it was designed for use in a very, very dirty environment, like when you're out there duck hunting. So you can throw this thing, submerge it, you get mud, you wash it out. It's really easy to take apart with, you just unscrew it, pull the barrel off. It's really easy, very few parts, relatively speaking. Simple pump action, so you don't have as much potential for like with a semi-automatic, the failure to load or extract properly. So all in all, it's very reliable. It was this particular series. The basic configuration is one that passed. Actually, they claim they're the only ones that passed the U.S. Army's mil-spec requirements, which is a big torture test. So, okay. A lot of shotguns are probably good. Some probably failed that test. Doesn't mean they're bad, but this one passed. It's actually the only one that passed, which is great. This one has, I think there's probably some plastic in it, but that's okay. I mean, if you're a normal user, you're going to the range, using it for fun and home defense, that's fine. Let's just say the plastic around the trigger group breaks off. You're in a pressure situation and you're defending your home. What are you going to do? You probably pull out your AR-15 or your Glock at that point. So if you even have to use it, in most cases you won't have to use this thing. So anyway, for what it's worth, it's for fun. So it's great, reliable shotgun. So highly recommend it. I did look at a few others coincidentally at the sporting goods store. They've got some really attractive looking shotguns with marine coat finish. So I actually almost bought this one. Marine coat finish. It's I can't remember the name, but marine coat finish. It was not a famous name, and there were almost no reviews on the internet about this thing. So it, I mean, it looks great. It's fully loaded. It's got the collapsible stock. It's got the, yeah, a pretty good long rail. It's got that marine coat. It's like silver colored. They probably just spray painted it. Anyway, I almost got that one because it was only about I think $200 on sale. I was thinking, how could you go wrong with this thing? But I did a little bit of reading and found out that this one was made by a Turkish arms manufacturer, which was, I think that at one point they might have been jointly invested in by possibly Mossberg or Remington. I don't recall who it was. Might have been Mossberg, but that investment or joint venture failed for a variety of reasons. But the factory, I think, kept making shotguns. So you'll see that, actually, I remember the name now. It's called Dickson. Dickson is the brand of that shotgun. And so I read they started producing again. And I think it's similar to, actually, it's not a copy of the Mossberg, because I think the door stays down in the receiver. So, I'm thinking of the Winchester. The door stays down. Definitely, that's one where my thumb got caught really bad. But this one called the Dickson, it's marine coat, fully loaded, tactical. It's even got the side carriers on the side for the shells, for the shot shells. This particular one, it's great. Looks like a great value. So anyway, I'll say, how can I go wrong? You know, pay $200, get fully loaded, and that was on sale with some coupons. I think the regular price was probably about $300 or so. So then I started reading a little bit about the Turkish manufacturer, and found out that they at one point had a problem with their shotguns going off by themselves. So without even pulling the trigger, they go off. And yeah, that was the deciding factor for me, where I realized that, okay, it's not about all the accessories you got on it. It's about the safety and reliability of the action. So that receiver, the trigger group in particular, you got to make sure you get high quality, because you don't want to have an accident. You don't want to hurt anybody. Don't hurt yourself. Don't want to hurt anybody else. So, so go with a top brand. I have to say, U.S. manufacturer. I actually like the Russian ones too, by the way. Those are really neat. So I'd probably go with one of those too. But I think there is a problem. Those are semi-automatic. You do get problems cycling if you're not using the right load. They're more sensitive, and you know, you really don't need that for probably home defense situations. This is actually fine. A simple pump, reliability, simplicity, no magazine. You just grab your ammo and use it if you have to. So this is really nice, reliable. It's a great entry-level one that I would highly recommend. The Mossberg 500 series, and if you're using it for home defense, go with the 18.5-inch barrel. That's my recommendation. I looked at the 20-inch barrel. It is fine too, but the little extra length is going to add length to it when you're maneuvering in the house, and also a little bit more weight, which you don't need, and you get another shot or two. But you probably strap your AR-15 on your back and your Glock on your side, and then you got this in your hand. So you really don't need it. It's probably okay. but you get better maneuverability, lighter weight, and it looks pretty cool being short. So, for what it's worth, that's a layman's view of the Mossberg 500 series with all, and of course I put all the upgrades on this thing. Not all of them, but as you know, I put a good number of basic upgrades: a better rail, better stock. But enjoy the rest of this video. We'll do a little bit of more detail and live at the range.
Okay, so I'm going to let you in on a little-known secret that I found out. Blackhawk, the company that makes the SPECOPS KNOXX Gen 2 slide, it's actually part of a huge conglomerate of companies. And this company makes a lot of the brands that you see in your typical big box sporting goods store. So when you walk in the big box store, right, you go to the shooting department, you see different scopes. Turns out the affiliates of Blackhawk within the same company are Bushnell, which you see there's a Tasco. You see Tasco optics there in the big box stores. The Simmons scopes are everywhere. Low price, pretty good quality, but low price, maybe not so good quality, but okay. The Simmons scopes, that's another one of their affiliates. Most notably, and I was shocked to see this, but the affiliates of Blackhawk are CCI, the maker of the best .22 ammunition, you know, the mini mags and all that, and also Federal Premium ammunition. Federal. I didn't know these were affiliates. And Blazer. So Blazer, lower quality, it's affiliate. So Federal, CCI, Blazer. That ammo is made under the same group as Blackhawk. And this group is also publicly listed. So this is a relatively large public company that owns all these brands. So that was a great surprise when I found this out. Additionally, they also own Savage Arms. So Savage Arms, the maker, they make like a .22 Planker style gun. They also make, I think not sure, but they may even make the Stevens shotgun line. I'm not sure about that, but Savage Arms for sure. It's I didn't realize that was already acquired by a large public company. So anyway, Blackhawk is not some little company. It's actually part of a large conglomerate. It has a lot of affiliates that make shooting related equipment and supplies, and they have distribution through into all these big box stores as well as the specialty stores. So Blackhawk is, you know, they're great in specialty products that they sell, the holsters especially, and all that. So they're in the specialty stores plus some of the big box as well. But anyway, they make the SPECOPS KNOXX. Well, I might even saying this right. The SPECOPS KNOXX Gen 2 slide. I don't know why they call it that, but it sounds pretty cool. Anyway, but on Blackhawk, the company itself, the story behind Blackhawk is that there was a guy who was a Navy, he was a SEAL, I believe. And he was out on a mission going through a minefield, and while he was in the minefield, his pack failed. I guess it's a backpack or something. It failed, and all the stuff dropped out of it. And you can just imagine that you're in a minefield and your stuff is falling out all over the ground. So that's the story. So the guy said to himself, if I survive this, I'm going to go back home and make the best packs and accessories for when you're out in the field, the best equipment. So that's the backstory behind this whole thing, the whole Blackhawk, and they say that, okay, that thinking
is what guides them as they go forward and make products. Of course, I guess they got acquired or something, and now they're part of a big company, but this is what they say. Anyway, for what it's worth, that's a little bit of the behind-the-scenes story about Blackhawk, the maker of the SPECOPS KNOXX Gen 2 slide. I would still love to know where they got the name from. It's a cool name, but don't know exactly what it means. Okay, so I want to tell you about Aimtech. That's the manufacturer of the WARHAMMER full rail for the Mossberg 500 series. They also make one for the Remington, if that's what you've got, but not for the Turkish made guns, of course. So buy American made. It's good, and you get the quality that you need. So about the Aimtech company, this is a very old company. They started making mounts for firearms back in 1976, as I understand it, and they've been doing mounts for I guess 25 to 30 years or so. During that time, making a whole range of different invented mounts for semi-automatics and also shotguns. A bit about the process they go through. I wanted to let you know the quality that they do. So this is a company out in Georgia. They make these mounts essentially by hand. They are first extruded, so it's very high quality aluminum. My understanding, it's an aluminum alloy that's they heat it up, and then they extrude it, I guess through well, they extrude it. I don't know exactly how they do that. It is then machined, so it's machined into the correct shape, configuration, or however you do it on a CNC computer controlled machine. And then once they have machined them, which means there's all those cuts in it and all that, then by hand they deburr them. So deburring can be done with something, I guess, as rough as a sandpaper or something like that, to take off all the sharp edges of it. They may use a wire brush. I don't know exactly what they use, but they smooth out, and then it goes into a tumbler with vibrations and maybe some beads, and it's like sandblasting, basically to really smooth it all out and give it a little bit of some surface texture, so it can hold the coating. So there's a mil-spec anodized coating that's put on it, which becomes is truly a really beautiful satin black finish that you get. Very consistent. It's a beautiful piece of aluminum that you get for only $85. I would have paid twice that much for this thing. In fact, there are other brands I've seen out there that maybe they're also full rail, and those can be 2 to 3 times the cost of this. So you're talking $200 to $300 for just another rail that actually, I gotta say, it doesn't look as nice as this one. I think this rail is the nicest one for the Mossberg, and it's also reasonably priced, so makes a good choice. Anyway, so yeah, so with Aimtech, you're getting a super high quality, made in the USA. That's the other piece, is all their mounts are made here in the U.S. as far as I know, and this particular one, it's really fantastic. So I highly recommend it. Price and value, and it just makes a huge difference, as you can see, for your firearm.
So you can get this too. Amazing pricing. So I got the Mossberg 500 with the ordinary stock. Very plain looking, no rail. That was $280. Okay, that was on sale, $280. Full price is around $320 or so. $320 to $350. That came with two barrels. This is the 18.5-inch barrel, but it also came with a 28-inch barrel. So I've got two of them for that price, $280. What a deal. And then I could have bought the 18.5-inch version they make with a collapsible stock as well, and it's got a little piece of fabric on the front for your hand grip. But that full price is about $480. And on sale, maybe it's about $440.
And I'm also noticing upon closer inspection that this already done version from Mossberg does not have a rail. It does not have a weaver mount, I think, on the top. It doesn't look, and it definitely doesn't have a full metal rail or heat shield. So all it's got is a buttstock and a pistol grip. So I think you're definitely better off putting it together yourself. Get the basic Mossberg 500, put the stock on it you want, add on the accessory rail, full-length rail, make it yours, make it the way you want it, and I think it's less expensive that way too. Okay, so let's continue.
So I decided to get the base 500. And then put the stock on that I really wanted, because I really wanted to change to this one anyway for recoil reduction, and then use any money left over there is to put a rail on top of it. And a lot of the rail choices are very small. But this is really an amazing full rail, which gives a whole different look. So this SPECOPS KNOXX Gen 2 recoil reducing double spring stock. This one cost me $94. Okay, I got it online, 94 bucks. Pretty good deal. Actually, excellent price. Collapsible, has two springs. Even if it doesn't reduce recoil, it actually is really, really comfortable. It's got an amazing grip. This is the new version of it. It's just really nice. So even if it didn't have recoil reducing, I'd probably buy it anyway. Especially at that price, is pretty good. So that was $94, and then this WARHAMMER rail. This WARHAMMER rail cost me about $85 online. So I paid about $180 in upgrades for the rail and the stock, and the base 500 platform cost me $280. So that's $280, $380, $460, and then paying $460 out the door for this dream set, which is exactly what I really want. So 280 for the base, another 94 or so for the stock. Okay, and then we added on about $85 or so for this rail. So it's about 180, 280, 460. That's a great deal for one that holds 6 shot total, one in the tube, and I think five in a tube and 1 in a chamber. Now, the first time I took it out, I forgot to take out the stick, so I couldn't put more than 2 in there. But I'm going to bring this back out, try to do it tomorrow, and see if we can run with 5 in the chamber or in the tube. So this is it. This is a Dream Mossberg with the WARHAMMER rail, full rail, and SPECOPS KNOXX Gen 2 collapsible stock with double spring recoil reduction. Now, I wonder if you guys need to see how to take this thing apart and put it back together. I could do that. Okay, 5 in the tube, 1 in the tube. One more. Number 4 and 3 of the numbers of the buckshot double aught. That's the order of the shells. Blue tape. So if it creases, that means it worked. The recoil reduction. Very slight creasing, not much at all. Oh, do you see it broke? Let's try again. That hurt, man. Oh. I hit my arm on this table. Wow, I better stand up and do this thing. Let me stand up and shoot. This is too much. Clear. 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 At 25 yards. Let's see what kind of anchors we got here. Oh wow. Check that out. That's really excellent. There's like holes everywhere. Wow. Yeah, I mean that's pretty good with a red dot sight. I'm using the green color. Wow. Pretty effective. The Mossberg 500 with the WARHAMMER rail and the SPECOPS KNOXX Gen 2 recoil reducing double spring stock. Okay, we're going to practice the manual loads. One at a time with a breech here. Double up, we'll do the number 4 first. Slap it in. You see it. Go for the center. Safety off. We'll show you the target here. Going for center. Oh yeah, very nice. Very nice. Load right from the front. There, go for a headshot. Oh yeah. Very nice. Try double up. Headshot. Hey, that flew off. I think this thing's working. Double out in the head. Headshot. Oh yeah. Double out in the headshot. Take the center match. Double out. Go for the headshot. Oh yeah. I got that. Yes. Double out again. Now. Okay, everybody. So I decided to go ahead and show you the full takedown of these accessories I put on this Mossberg 500. We got the SPECOPS Gen 2 KNOXX recoil reducing stock. We've got the Aimtech WARHAMMER full aluminum machine smooth rail on here. Up on top I've got an inexpensive optic. It's just a BSA red dot with red and green choice, and it's fine for this you know, for this kind of a weapon here, so it's quite fine. Anyway, so what we're going to do, you see how I take a little extra safety, so I've got double lock here, cable lock for the breech. I use a combo lock for the trigger. You probably only need the cable lock at this point, but this is just a little bit extra. I did do a safety check. It's clear. Do a physical one. Use the hands. Check the tube. Check the chamber. They're both clear. Let's get this guy opened up. If you're into trigger locks, a lot of people are not, but if you happen to be into them, it's good safety, especially if you got little ones around and all that. You just throw a little extra safety on there. I heard don't put on a revolver for some reason, so you want to do a check and make sure there's not a problem. You're not introducing a problem if you do that. But for the purposes of this particular one, I think it's okay. I always safety check it, and before I lock it up, and I've got double locks on it, so I feel pretty good about having both of these locking mechanisms on here. And of course I've got them locked up as well, so just to be extra safe. Alright, let's just safety check it one more time. We're clear. 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 Okay, we are clear. Good to go here. Okay, so we're going to get this guy taken apart here. First thing I do is make sure you put this thing in here. This is going to reduce the tension. And remember, you stick it in with this red thing facing about this direction. Then you work it on down to about that position. Takes the pressure off. And then you got to loosen this one bolt. So this one bolt is what's holding this thing on here. It's a cross bolt. Important thing is, do not make this thing tight when you're putting it back together. If you make it tight, it's going to squeeze this thing, and it's not going to want to slide to reduce the recoil. So you pull up this one pin here. Okay, let's set this to the side. Now that you got the pin out, this thing should just slide right off. Let's see if it does. Oh, yeah, see that? This is how the thing works. See how it just slides? This thing's supposed to slide up and in when it's really working. And there's a spring right here. This is the second spring. Okay, the first spring is on the inside. You see how wet this thing is? They say it runs better wet. Got CLP on it. The second spring is on the inside here. This lever is holding this thing back. Okay. So now you got that off. This, look how this guy works. There's a bar that runs up there. This little wheel in here, right here, slides along that bar. This wheel provides a bit of tension on it too, so it helps to reduce the recoil somehow into the grip. And here's the bolt. There's a bolt inside of that. This is you gotta take that bolt out. So there's a bolt inside. You gotta unscrew that, and then this part here is gonna come right off. So to get that off, they don't really give you a tool, so you gotta get one of these. Go to Home Depot or Lowe's, pick up one of these things. It's a hex. It's a hex set right here. It's hex, whatever you call these things anyway. It's not a hex nut, but it's a hex driver or something. Just put it right in there. You just unscrew it, and then this whole top is going to come right off. So inside here I can feel this little piece here. This is your strap holder. See that? So you just, later when you put it back together, you put your strap holder here, face it towards you. It's your right side. Sorry, left side facing towards you. So that's the piece. That's the other piece of the SPECOPS KNOXX Gen 2 slide. So now you got this. Okay. That's what you got. Let's take these things and put them to the side here. Now we got this piece. This is the Mossberg receiver, trigger group, Aimtech WARHAMMER rail. Let's get it off. So all you do is we'll go backwards. Okay, so let's look at what we got here. The thing holding this thing on in the front are these set of bolts, 1 and 2, and then there's a bracket that mounts around your barrel right here. Okay, so just take these guys off. When you're putting this top part on here, it's a little tricky. You don't want to make it completely tight all around. It's like 4 screws. So you want to, because you want to get this just fitting just right around this barrel. So put them in a little bit at a time, then you slowly tighten them all up. The second screw. So I think 2 screws were holding this to the bracket. Looks like, I think so. So we should be able to get this thing off now. So you got this bolt here. So extra, we replaced the old bolt with this longer bolt that came with the Aimtech WARHAMMER rail. That's what we'll do. So we're gonna unscrew that thing. Let's the order. I'm gonna go in reverse order so you can take this thing out first. So this little nut comes off. That's it, it's a little nut. Okay. And flip it around, we're going to unscrew this thing. Okay, now the screws come out. I'm just going to hold this, I don't know if it's going to fall apart or not, just hold it in. I don't think it's going to fall apart. So we did replace that. I think this thing should pivot. Let's see what happens. It does. It pivots off. Great. Okay. We're pretty close now. See that? This thing just pivots right off it. That's it. All you gotta do is knock that screw out. See, this is the Aimtech rail on the Mossberg 500 receiver with the 18.5-inch barrel. Look at that. See? This is all it is. So, next thing we gotta do is let's just unscrew this thing. Let's just unscrew it. So it's holding my trigger group in, so you gotta be kind of careful with this. That's it, the bolt comes out. We got full separation. This is your Aimtech WARHAMMER rail. It's a thing of beauty. Look at this. It's amazing. We got our standard Mossberg 500. Mossberg 500 receiver. Standard barrel that holds 5 and the standard 18.5-inch barrel. Very, very reliable. Extremely reliable. What I really like is how you go to load, this stays up. So you can just load. Push them right in, it doesn't get caught on your thumb. It's so easy. You know, it's very easy to get the shells in there. Very nice. That's it. So we fully disassembled this, these accessories. Beautiful Aimtech WARHAMMER rail. Full aluminum. That is, and I should show you, this is the original stock that came with the Mossberg 500. So hollow, plain, basic. It's got a butt pad with screws right there. Those are the screws you'll take off. You just take the screws off, and inside it's got a bolt in it that's similar to the one I took out of here. It's just like that bolt. You just use the same tool. Take it off. So what you got to do to get this thing out. If this were attached to your firearm, as you can see, it goes right here. Actually, I got it upside down, I think. That's right. So it goes right here. That's where it's going to go. Okay, so when you have your Mossberg from the big box store with this very basic stock on it, okay, you're going to unscrew these screws here. You'll dig the, you won't be able to see the screws because they'll be screwed really far in there. So you dig the screwdriver in, get the screws, get them out of there. That's it. This thing comes off. Inside, you should have just a big bolt like this. So this one had, yeah, it just has a screwdriver, a flathead. So you just get a flathead screwdriver. You don't need this to take it off. You just need one of these with a flathead. Stick it in there and screw this guy here, which is screwed into your firearm. Okay. Once you do that, this stock is going to be easy to remove. Okay. So let's try to get this back together again. I'm going to go in reverse here. Okay, so it's a WARHAMMER rail. When you get this thing, okay, you get this thing, you just take off your stock, you just get it on there, slide it right over the holes. I'm going to do this right now because I got my trigger group exposed here with no pin holding it in. I don't want to have any unfortunate happenings here. So we'll get this in. Gotta line it up just right. There it is. You just screw that on down. Okay, it's looking good. What we'll do is we'll check the other side, make sure the screw went all the way in. It feels like it did here. Let's just take a look. Beautiful, I can see it now. So the screw went right through and it locked right inside of here. I screwed it right into the threads, which is great. That's what you need. I'll give it a quarter turn. That's it. Okay, so now we just gotta get this thing secure. What you would have done when you get yours, there's gonna be two plastic pieces held by two screws. So you just line them up, put the screws in there. Don't make these two too tight because you gotta just fit everything together. It's all gonna fit just so there's just this kind of tolerance right here where they just fit just right. So let's get the screws back in there. That feels like it's going right in. Let's get the other side. Don't have to make it too tight. I think they're pretty secure. Okay. That's the way you want them to look. See the top? It's all very tight. Nice. Now I'm going to get this screw back in there. There, you can feel the threads. You feel the screw getting threaded on there. Oh, this is hard work. I'm gonna need a beer. Whew, time for a break. Whew, that's good stuff. Alright, back to work. Fun work here. So let's finish screwing that in. Okay, so not too tight, it's just tight. This nut just goes on to cover this guy. That's about it. But this, if you put this in, they say it's optional, but I think it's a great idea to use this extra bolt inside here because it really secures this to the receiver. Additional to that point, and then you've got your points up in the front, so you've got something pretty solid here. Alright, so now we got to get this thing together. Okay, just got a strap on the left side. See this bolt, we're just gonna fit the thing right there. It fits together really nice. Really solid. Nice. Very well made. And we'll get this. Just get it right in there. Make sure you don't strip the screw like I think I almost did. Make sure you get a real good straight screw right in there. There it goes. It feels smoother now. Well, the first couple of turns, I felt like it was off because I think it was. I'm stripping that screw. No, Seems like it's okay. That's it. It's in there. And it's in there pretty tight. Don't want to make it too tight. That's like an eighth to a quarter of a turn tight. So I was telling you I had a problem with this thing. I can't tell if it's sliding or not, and I can't see it slide. I want to believe it's sliding. So we got this spring here. They said this thing needs to be conditioned, the spring thing. So we got to really, I'm going to do something. I'm going to take this out. They said I could do this. They said I can take this spring out and see if I can push down on this, on the slide. Put the barrel into something soft on the ground and push down on it to manually condition. I'm going to do that. So what we'll do is we'll slide this back on. I'm going to pull the spring out. There it is. So I'm gonna go take the spring out. Let me do this. I'm gonna put this thing back together first. That's it. Let's take this guy out. This thing holds that tension back. Put the spring to the side. Later, when you actually put the thing together, you gotta put that spring back in there. But I'm gonna first condition it. They said to put the barrel down into the ground, push down on the back, see if this thing moves. So I'm gonna do that now. I'll come back. Okay, I am happy to report that this slide actually works. So when I pulled that spring out, I put the nose of the barrel into the rug, and I put my full weight right here on the buttstock. This thing actually slid. So it slides. It was pretty smooth, but there was a lot. There's a lot of tension inside. But that's the way they designed it. So I gotta say, I'm very convinced that this thing works. So you ought to run out. Well, only if you're recoil sensitive. Or if you want just less recoil, then yeah. Run out and grab one of these things. Get it online at a discount price, which is around, I think $94. And be careful not to get the cheaper one, which looks almost identical, but it's non-recoil producing, has no spring system. You want the one with 2 spring system. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put that second spring back in there. I am very happy to report that this thing works. I actually wasn't sure, so at least I know it works. Spring seems kind of hard. Well, let's assume they know what they're talking about and they put the right spring in there. Okay, let's get it back together. Lock this guy up here. Okay. Now, when you're doing this, make sure you don't make it too tight, they said. Just until you feel it stop. That's it. Just stop right there. Pull out your brake, tension lever, and I think this is it. We're all back together again. Yes, we did it. We're ready to roll here. See that? Very nice, beautiful. SPECOPS KNOXX Gen 2 stock Aimtech WARHAMMER rail. Sub-miscellaneous optic on top. Mossberg 500 inside. And this, by the way, is the original foregrip. This, you may find when you get your Mossberg 500 that your foregrip does not come off. That's what this one is. So there's other ones they make where the foregrip has there's a little screw here and it does come off. But this particular one is not one of those. So anyway, for whatever reason they put this on this particular one, and it is fine. I mean, it works great, and actually it feels pretty solid too. So I like this one actually. Now your SPECOPS stock does come with a foregrip, which is a little more tacticool looking. I do like that a little bit better. Only thing is it doesn't fit on this. So unless I can figure out a way to slip it around the outside here, I'm just going to go with it the way it is, and maybe someday we'll figure out how to change out this this stock for something else. It looks like you might be able to, but I can't tell. Let's see. Let's see some little. I see something there, a little pin, but I think we're good the way it is. And by the way, this is really a perfectly shaped hand grip on this stock. All right, everybody, that's about it for today.